Depression after trauma is extremely common, and I was not willing to admit that is what I was dealing with for years. I think it's really hard to explain to someone who hasn't been depressed or hasn't felt severe depression what it is like. I was sitting at that desk downstairs and staring at the wall, and I have no idea how long I was staring at that wall for. I was dead. It wasn't that I wanted to die, it wasn't that I was hoping to die, it was that I was dead. I was so depressed. I had been drowning in depression for years, but I didn't want to call it that. Honestly, because I didn't want to be dramatic. And I was raised in the Christian church where you don't really medicate problems often, unless it's, really severe, and so I didn't want to be a severe problem. I didn't want to be dramatic. So I never wanted to call what I was dealing with depression. But as I was sitting there staring at the wall, tears running down my face, but not really crying because I couldn't feel anything because I was dead inside, I realized I have to do something about this because I'm not here. There's nothing about this that is life. There's nothing about this that is worth sticking around for, honestly. And so I went and talked to my doctor a couple weeks later. I was really terrified to do it because I was afraid he wasn't gonna believe me, or I was afraid he was gonna think I was just looking for drugs or whatever, or tell me that it wasn't serious or whatever, but that wasn't the case. He listened to me, he asked a lot of really intelligent questions, and then he said, you know what, let's just try something for a little while. Sometimes people call antidepressants happy pills. They are not happy pills. They are don't wake up at a -10 pills. They are wake up maybe closer to a normal level of okay pills. So instead of waking up at like a -10, I was waking up closer to like a -1 or a -2. Like I could start off closer to what I feel like most of society started off at. I shouldn't use the word normal because who is normal, honestly? It took a little while to find the right drug. It took a little while for my system to adjust to it, but life changed. I didn't realize that there were days where I could wake up and where that heaviness could lift for a second. I'd walked around, I think, most of my life really depressed, and then when my life kind of exploded, that got significantly worse. I talked to friends about taking medication for depression or not. A lot of people told me not to do it. A lot of people told me, go the natural way, or just exercise, go outside more. And a lot of people said, you know what, give it a shot, see what happens. And so I eventually decided that it was the right decision for me to make. Because I can't tell you how much my quality of life improved. And again, that's not that I was happy all the time. It was that I was not 10 feet underwater every second of the day. There were actually moments where I felt okay. I could wake up and the day might be all right. I think the decision to talk to a doctor about depression is terrifying, but worth it. And I think the decision to take medication or not is really difficult and frightening. But in my case, it was absolutely worth it because what I was dealing with was a lot more severe than what I wanted to admit to myself. And it was absolutely clinical depression, but I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to recognize that. I didn't want to know that because I didn't want to be a problem. I didn't want to be dramatic. I didn't want to whatever. So if you think this might be something that you're dealing with, I cannot encourage you enough to talk to someone. Talk to people who you know, love, and trust who know you. Talk to professionals. Talk to counselors and doctors. And see if medication might be the right option for you. See if there might be different options for you that might be better. I eventually came to the conclusion that life is really too short to be lived absolutely miserable every second of every day. I know there are a lot of people who are really against any kind of medication. I respect that, I really do. But for me, I was so done wanting to die every second of every day. And if depression is something that you think you may be dealing with, please talk to someone about it because I really think life is too short to be lived in constant agony, which is how I was living my life until I decided to do something different about it. In the description of this video, I have attached some resources that are common signs and symptoms of depression, but guess what? There aren't enough words on pages that can tell you everything about your mental health, so like I said, if this is something you think you might be dealing with, please talk to someone professional in person. I'm Jo Beckwith, and this is Sophie who wanted to invade the video. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel or Facebook page. I look forward to seeing you next time, and please take care of yourself until then.